What's up? It's College Football Insider back with my second video. The first video was about Alabama and their roster breakdown, and I predicted their schedule and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be doing the same thing with Arkansas. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at their starting, a quick look at their starting players, and then we're gonna go more in depth in their stats and stuff. And then we're going to take a look at their schedule. So, let's go. So, starting at wide receiver, they have Trey Knox. He's a junior. Second wide receiver is Davion Warren. He's a senior. And at their slot, you got Treylon Burks, a junior. Left tackle, Myron Cunningham. He's a redshirt senior, and he is a transfer. Left guard, Brady Latham, redshirt sophomore. So, he's young. Center, Ricky Stromberg Jr., right guard, Ty Clary, he's a redshirt senior. Right tackle, Dalton Wagner, he's also a redshirt senior. So they got some age to their line. Then at the tight end position, they have Hudson Henry, a redshirt sophomore. At quarterback, KJ Jefferson, redshirt sophomore. And at running back, Traylon Smith. He's a redshirt junior, and he is a transfer. And now for their defense, their DN, they got Eric Gregory, a redshirt sophomore. Nose tackle, John Ridgeway, he's a graduate transfer. Defensive tackle, got Isaiah Nichols, a redshirt junior. The jack linebacker position, they got Dorian Gerald, a redshirt senior, transfer. And at Mike linebacker, they got Grant Morgan, a redshirt senior. Will Bumper Pool, he's a senior. Corner, they have Kerry Johnson, a sophomore. At the first safety position, they have Joe Fuchsia, I think. He's a senior. In the second safety position, they have Jalen Catalon, a redshirt sophomore. And at the second corner, they have Monteric Brown, a redshirt senior. And then they have Greg Brooks Jr., and he is a junior. So they have a pretty they have an older team all around. They don't even have any freshmen playing, so that's good for them. They got a lot of transfers too. So next, we're going to take a look at the stats. So as you know from last episode with Alabama, we did not take a look at the O-line because the website I get my stats off of for 2020, they did not have it, and we don't take a look at the transfers, but if we have time, we'll take a look at the transfers. So starting off with Trey Knox, he was the backup last year. He had 7 receptions for 70 yards, averaged 10, and that was basically it. And he's gonna be a junior, so he was a sophomore last year. And next we have Davion Warren. He's a senior. Davion Warren, he was 7th on their team. And he had 7th in rushing. Never mind. Anyways, they had 15 receptions, 278 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And he was decent. I don't know if he was starting. But next up, we have Treylon Burks, their slot. He's a junior. Treylon Burks, he was definitely their best receiver last year. 51 receptions, 820 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And he also rushed for 75 yards. Probably on jet sweeps or Wildcat, stuff like that. I'm not sure what they run. I don't really watch them. Next up, we got Hudson Henry, a redshirt sophomore. Hudson Henry, I don't know if he played. No, he didn't really play. He had 16 receptions for 92 yards and a touchdown. I don't know who their tight end was last year. But now at their redshirt sophomore quarterback, KJ Jefferson, number 1. Last year they had Felipe Franks transferring from Florida, so he obviously started. KJ Jefferson was their backup. He was 20 for 41, so he played a decent bit. 48.8% completion percentage, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 133.4 rating. And yeah, he did okay as a backup. He didn't throw any interceptions, which was good. Let me see there. They were 3-7 last year, so they beat Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Tennessee, and they lost every other game. So yeah, they weren't all that good. So taking a look at their defense, Eric Gregory. Let's see. Eric Gregory had 27 tackles, 3 for loss, 2.5 sacks, 1 interception, and that's it. We got John Ridgeway. We'll look at him after if we have time because he's a transfer. Then defensive tackle, we have Isaiah Nichols. He's a redshirt junior. Isaiah Nichols had 23 total tackles, 0.5 tackles for loss, and 0.5 sacks. He had 1 pass deflection, and that is it. So going on, we have Dorian Gerald, he's a transfer. Grant Morgan, redshirt senior. Grant Morgan, he was best on their defensive tackles with 110 total tackles, so he's definitely a leader of their defense. 7.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 1 interception for 23 yards, and that was a pick 6 and 5 pass deflection. So he had a good year last year, and definitely will return as one of their better players, and he was their Mike linebacker. And next we have Bumper Pool. He's a senior, no red shirt. Bumper Pool is their second best, so the linebackers are the 2 best in tackles and best defensive players. He had 101 total tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, and 0.5 sacks, and 5 pass deflections. And that is it. So next up, we have Kari Johnson, a sophomore. I'm pretty sure he did not play. Kari Johnson, he had 8 tackles and 1 pass deflection. So next up at safety, a senior, Joe Faucha, excuse me if I'm not wrong. Faucha, or just say Joe. I'm not sure if he played. Joe. Nope, he did not play. Is he? Joe. Nope. Joe. I can't find him on there, so let's move on to the next guy. Jalen Catalon, he's a redshirt sophomore, so I doubt he played. Okay. For Faucha, his name on this was Joseph, but he had 60 tackles, 3 for loss, 1 sack, 2 interceptions for 26 yards, 3 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. So he did pretty good. And then next we have Jalen Catalon. He did not play. I just checked. And then next at corner we have Monte-Eric Brown. Is he a transfer? So Monte-Eric Brown, he had 31 tackles, 2 for loss, and 5 pass deflections and 1 forced fumble. He had the 9th most tackles on his team, and he's going to be a redshirt senior, so gonna get some age in that group. And then last but not least, Greg Brooks Jr. He's a junior. Greg Brooks Jr. was 6th in sacks with 39, 3 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions for 79 yards, and 1 of them was a touchdown, and he had 1 pass deflection. So I think this defense is going to be pretty good. They definitely have some age, and I don't think we have enough time to look at transfers. Maybe we'll look at them after. But I'm really excited about their defense. Now their offense, even though they're a little old, they're old in the O-line. So, but I'm not sure about how they'll perform and why they ran the passing game. So now we're going to take a look at their schedule and give them a record. So, first game, September 4th, at home against Rice. They are going to take the W at Rice. So they're 1-0. They play at home against Texas. They dropped that game 1-1. They just can't handle Texas's athletes. Whatever. September 18th, Georgia Southern. They win 2-1. Then play at home against Texas A&M. They lose that game, so they're 2-2 now. Then at Georgia, they lose 2-3. Against Ole Miss, I think they will win at Ole Miss. So that brings them to 3-3. And at home against Auburn, they're not going to win this game. Bo Nix is going to be too much for them. So that's 3-4. Versus Arkansas Pine Bluff, they win 4-4. Then Mississippi State, I think they lose. So 4-5. Then they lose to LSU, 4-6. Or they lose at LSU, no doubt about that, 4-6. Then they definitely lose at Alabama, 4-7. They're not making a bowl game, but they do end the season off with a victory against Missouri, so that will bring their final record to 5-7. And I think I'm going to bring this. I didn't do this in the last episode, but I do have time this episode. So their breakout player on offense, their breakout player will be wait, did I cover their running back? Wait. I forgot to do this last time with Brian Robinson, so I'm sorry about that. Here, wait. Their running back had let's see. Traylon Smith is actually a transfer, so we might look at him in a minute or so. But their breakout player, I think, will be KJ Jefferson on offense. I think he's just a pretty good player in my opinion. He's 6'3", 236, so he's a big player. Let's see. He's pretty good rusher, actually. He had 28 attempts for 67 yards, had 2 touchdowns, probably ran the ball because he's big, 6'3", but he probably ran the ball close to the end zone and just scored, you know what I'm saying, like that. But I think he'll do well. And looking at the transfer, I think I'm just going to look up Traylon Smith here. Let's just go back. Traylon Smith stats. I don't want to run out of time here, but Traylon Smith, 2020, he was at Arizona State. I think here. Wait 1 second. Okay, so I just had to extend the time real quick. But Traylon Smith, he played at, what does it say? 2020. He had 134 attempts for 710 yards, 5 touchdowns. Wait, he did play for Arkansas. Never mind. So it says he's a transfer, but maybe that was because he transferred before career stats. He had a breakout year in 2020. So actually, him and KJ Jefferson will provide a good duo at maybe running, and yeah, I think they'll do pretty well together. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Up next, I'm not sure who we have. I'll put it in the description. Bye.